Welcome back, BizBuzz, Mike and Mark show. This is me, Mike Duckett, and Mark Harris.
And this is me, Mark Harris. I didn't know you were going to do that.
No, you didn't. If I can get your attention for a moment, Mark, drag you away from the technology.
I've got knobs and buttons to press.
Well, whilst you're pressing knobs and buttons, let me mention something that caught my eye, following on from last time when we rubbished a piece of research on coffee.
Me? Rubbish research? Surely not.
Even the authors rubbished it. They said at the end, well, the statistics were rubbish, so it doesn't mean very much. But it was a nice idea that you could increase your memory by drinking coffee.
Oh, that's good for my business.
That's what good for any business.
Get down to the cafe, drink lots of coffee.
Exactly. This is why I'm raising it now. I'm pressing on with the point. Here is some research from the, Journal of Applied Social Psychology. See, it can be applied. It's got
Sounds
to be important.
good, yeah.
Can be applied. And it's to do with taking coffee and the difference in reaction between men and women to drinking coffee during meetings.
Wow.
If you're under stress in a meeting, what is the more likely response, do you think, if you've got two women in a meeting and stress occurs?
Scratch each other's eyes out?
Well, no, quite the opposite, you see.
Stay away.
No, apparently, stress...
Don't argue with them.
Stress apparently has been found in previous studies to increase the likelihood that women will start to cooperate. They will, under stress, they will want to get together and, smooth
I
it
don't
out.
think they want to fight as much. They'll actually try and collaborate.
Wow.
Which is the opposite of men
the
under
solution
stress.
to these marital issues.
As the woman in the room, I guess we have to listen to you on that.
Yeah.
I've never been a woman, so I don't know.
Only weekends.
Secret.
And if men are under stress, they tend to, as you can imagine, they do scratch each other's eyes out. What happens then if you give people coffee? There is a different effect, apparently. They studied 64 male and female participants, coffee drinkers at the University of Bristol, average age 22, so these are students. Nearly all this work done on students, as though they're a representative bunch of people, but there we go. And they completed various construction puzzles or negotiation and collaborative memory tasks. And they did it after drinking either decaffeinated coffee, but some of them had their coffee spiked with caffeine. So some of them are just drinking.
Shot.
Okay, so they all thought they were having decaf.
They all thought they were having decaf.
I hate that. I drink a lot of decaf, and I hate it when someone gives me a coffee by mistake.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know this was happening apparently, and it was equivalent of 3 cups of coffee.
Oh, healthy.
And then they elevated the stress by telling them, oh, by the way, there's a very important presentation in front of I don't know who. So after this. And if you don't do well in the presentation, the fee that we were going to give you is not going to be as much. So your fee depends upon how well you do in the presentation. So that was in theory to increase a little bit of stress. And they were then tested. The males' memory tests decreased. So they weren't as good at memory tests if they'd had caffeine under stress in a meeting. And their ability to collaborate do construction tests went up, so it took them longer to collaborate, whereas women it went down, so women were more likely. So it seemed to support this idea that under stress women do collaborate more, but if you give them coffee, even more.
Wow.
So be careful what you do, what you give your people in meetings.
That's interesting, isn't it? So rather than meeting someone for coffee, we should be meeting someone for something else.
One of the interesting things I've
suggesting
found...
a beverage without caffeine in it. No, but anyway.
It depends whether
you sell coffee, you sell coffee,
but you sell decaf as well, and you sell lots of other things as well.
One of the interesting things I've noticed recently, though, is that a lot of, particularly people who are undergraduates or fairly youngish, under 25, it's young to me at this age, but they don't drink much coffee.
No, don't do hot drinks, do they?
They don't have hot drinks.
No, they probably drink all their caffeine in caffeinated drinks.
Yeah, Red Bull and Relentless.
That's a big issue.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Big Issue's a magazine.
No, sorry.
It's okay.
I sell that my day job.
But only weekends.
The point is, in business, there's a lot of... Coffee's a kind of culture, isn't it? We have a coffee when you offer them a coffee. You have a whole business revolving around people coming and having coffee.
And as a catering company, we deliver a lot of coffee to people that have meetings.
Yeah. I wonder... Okay,
and it has interesting effects that we keep exploring.
Yeah, so I wonder lots of things, but about this, I wonder whether So if coffee has a negative effect on two men because they're going to be more stressy,
under stress,
presumably decaf has a neutral effect. I wonder if there's something that has a positive effect. Is there something perhaps that makes them
Probably
more
not having it.
collaborative? Well, not having it is better than having it. I wonder if there's something that's so for a woman. We could say if it's a stressful situation for two women, what this research is saying, always assuming that it's accurate and responsible and stuff, which the authors themselves aren't sure about, as always the case. I love research. Is it will actually make them collaborate better. The time to do certain tasks was reduced, the quality of work they did was better. So two women who've got a difficult job to do together should have a coffee as a proactive thing to improve the quality of their work. I wonder if there is a substance that two men should have, maybe beer.
Valium. Oh, beer. Beer.
Oh, I wonder if the beer marketing board should perhaps investigate that.
I will research that to see if anyone has done a comparative study but using beer, alcohol.
And what's the difference between coffee and tea? Why is it suddenly everyone has coffee?
It's caffeine in tea, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they just do the test with coffee because that's what most people associate with caffeine. But of course, there's
you get a bigger
lots
hit
of
of caffeine
things,
as well. But let me tell you what this is self-importance, I suppose. But these researchers. The importance of the study, it says, including military and other decision-making meetings, they're likely to be male-dominated, and our research suggests that men's effectiveness is particularly likely to be compromised because caffeine is the most widely consumed drug in the world. It follows the global implications are potentially staggering. That's talking up your own research, isn't it?
Wow. Absolutely. Potentially staggering. We love it.
They don't happen to have some sort of collusion with a decaffeinated coffee company, do they?
It doesn't say.
Well, question one, who funds the research? And what would they like the results to be?
That's been a business issue recently, hasn't it?
Yes.
The research.
This is it. There's a lot of research, and as Mark was saying, we can pick at the research, but there's an awful lot of it out there, and it's only when you realise who's funded it, that suddenly it's no longer research, really, is it?
Absolutely. So a question, Mike, if you would take one of these cups of coffee and pour it all over a man, would it be a super soaker?
I think it... Pardon?
Would it be a...
no, I can't bear it.
Okay, so...
I get into trouble for this.
Is your next music choice, by any chance, super soaker?
Because I was thinking of that link when I chose it. I just love Kings of Leon.
You just love Kings of Leon.
This is the week when I'm choosing music because I like it.